Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ashish and I'm a junior doctor working in the UK. In this video, we'll talk about 4 important mental models which you can use in your clinical practice as well as generally in your life as well, and these will really help you out. If you want to support my channel, you can do that by clicking on the like button, sharing this video as much as possible and subscribing to this channel. Let's start. The first one is called Occams Razor, and it says that simple explanations are more likely to be true than complicated ones. And this is a really important mental model which you can use in your day-to-day life and your day-to-day clinical practice as well. For example, if you have a patient who comes into the A&E or a general practice clinic and they say that they have been having a swelling in the neck for the past few months, and they want you to make differential diagnosis, you should go for simple differentials like reactive lymphadenopathy rather than going for something complex like a diverticula from the esophagus or carotid aneurysm which is extending up to the surface and causing the neck to swell up. So simple explanations are more likely to be true. Occams Razor also says that if you want to reach a conclusion, the less steps you take to reach the conclusion, the more precise you will be. Because there is an error associated with each of those steps. So if you have a conclusion and if you just take 2 steps to reach it and each step is involved with an error of 2%, then you'll have a total error of 4%. But if you have to reach another conclusion and you have to take 10 steps to reach it, then with an error of 2% in each step, you will have 20% overall error. So go for the simple explanations first and go for the conclusions for which you'll have to take the minimum number of steps. The second one is called the Hannons Razor. It says that never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. For example, if you are in a busy ward round with your consultant and you have an important question which you need to ask your consultant about the patient's condition and you are really excited to ask that question, but when you do that, your consultant, because he is quite busy, just gives you an irritated glance and he says that I will get back to you in some time. Let me just talk to this patient first. Now, the explanation of his behavior can be easily explained by the fact that he's so busy, and it's not that he's a bad person. So when you apply Hannons Razor, you will be easily able to work around things about why people reacted to some things and why they are actually not bad people. And it's just the circumstances which can justify those things. Another example can be if you are just driving on the road and there's a person who quickly overtakes you and then comes in front of you suddenly and you have to brake a bit. The explanation of this behavior can be just negligence rather than that person being a bad person, that he quickly accelerated, he was racing with you on the road and then he came right in front of you to make you brake so that you get scared. The explanation here is just that the person didn't think about anything and he was busy in his own life driving that car and he just overtook you and came in front of your car. So this is a really good mental model to apply in your day-to-day life and in your clinical practice as well. The next one is called Inversion, and this is reverse thinking about problems, and you can apply this mental model to choose what specialties you should pick in life. For example, if you want to pick a clinical specialty, then you should imagine yourself as a 60-year-old consultant and you should think how you want the life of that 60-year-old consultant to be. And according to what you imagine in the life of that 60-year-old, you should come back and you should try to pick up a specialty which will lead to that kind of life. And this model is quite amazing, and it will help you in your day-to-day life to make decisions, and it will help you in your day-to-day life clinical practice as well. The next one is a very important one, and this is called circle of competence. This is knowing what you are good at and what you are not good at, and making that circle around yourself about what you know best and what you don't know. For example, if you're a surgeon who's been working in surgery for like 10-20 years, and you have a sick patient in the ward, and there's a nurse who comes up to you and they ask you about an opinion on the ECG of the patient because they are having chest pain. Rather than trying to evaluate the ECG yourself and then taking treatment decisions, you should always try to seek help, because if you have identified that your circle of competence is around resolving surgical problems rather than medical ones, you should try to get help from people who have the circle of competence around evaluating ECGs and making treatment decisions. And I'll tell you what, this will save you from a lot of bad experiences. And you should always define your circle of competence and stay inside of that circle. Because when you try to jump out of that circle, you don't know what the gray areas are, and you don't know about that thing. So it's best to stick to your circle of competence. If you want to increase your circle of competence, you can always study more, read more books, get more experience, and try to broaden your circle of competence, but it's best to identify it. The next one to keep in mind is the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it says that the least experienced person is the most confident one. If you look at this graph, and you can see on the x-axis that the person who has the least experience is the most confident on the y-axis, and even the expert is less confident than the least experienced person. So when you try to take decisions which are outside of your circle of competence, you are extending into an unknown territory. And when you go there with the limited information you have, you try to take that decision and you'll be extremely confident because you don't know the gray areas around it. So remember this, that the least experienced person is the most confident one, and if you are getting overtly confident about a specialty, then question yourself and try to read more, try to gain more experience about that specialty. That's all for this video. I hope that this video helped you and you'll use these principles in your day-to-day life. If you want to see more of these videos, click on the like button, share this video and subscribe to this channel so that many other doctors and medical students like you can get help from this content. I will see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching.